Yeah.
We're not going to bow. We're not going to bow to your peer pressure. And you're not just like a teen. You're a king.
Right.
There's something there for the church, by the way. But we're good another day. And we've had to do this with our kids, is be real with the conversations that you have with them. If someone's doing those things, actually have a conversation with them about that stuff. Don't just try to sweep it under the rug, and don't be like, well, you'll get over it, because that's not addressing the heart. Like when it comes to parenting and when it comes to stuff like even what we're dealing with, it's the heart that you're stewarding.
Yeah.
So
and it's building up the confidence in who they are in Christ.
Yeah.
So that way they can walk into any room, and if a kid is saying like, "Hey, watch this on TikTok," and your kid knows it's not right, and say like, "I'm not going to watch that because I'm not going to fill my life with that because I have value."
Yeah. And part of that is instilling them in the identity of who they are in Christ. Right. You're not those things. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or Shadrach, those weren't their real names.
No.
And if you go back to the beginning of the book of Daniel, you find out their names. And I'm not going to tell you them. Go back and look at it.
Right.
But when they get taken into captivity, they have Hebrew names.
That's right.
And they all have a specific meaning. One is like, the Lord is my helper. Who is like the Lord? And I forgot the third guy, but I'm just going off the top of my head because I did a research on their names. But they lived up to the names that they were given from their parents. They were their Hebrew names. They lived up to who God is.
Over them.
And then all those other names, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, those are to the Babylonian gods.
Yeah.
But they lived as in their identity of who they were in God.
Right.
They didn't go according to what they were labeled by. And part of that is probably because of their parents. Yeah. Right? Because they were young, taken into captivity, but they had instilled in themselves that there's a God who saves.
But they knew it for themselves. Yeah, they knew it for themselves at that point. It wasn't just their parents' faith. It wasn't a cold, dead religion.
No, that's what I'm saying. But when we were talking about genealogies and like you pass the faith on, one generation shall declare his works to the next, that when Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego got to Babylon, they knew who God was even before they were, even in captivity.
Right.
So it didn't matter about the environment. They had that personal relationship with the God who saves. Yep. And so that had to be instilled in them, not just like, they had to have parents who pass that on, because they named them those names.
That's right. Yeah.
They said, this is your name. Your name is the Lord saves. Mm. Your name is who is like Jehovah. And they lived up to that because it was just reading on it, I believe that it was instilled in them, because if you look at everybody else who was taken into captivity, there's a lot of bad things that happen.